It's time for the Jesse T Show. Good to have you along with me, rolling in the gray ghost, face in the sun, as it settles here in Southern California over the beautiful blue Pacific Ocean. Yes, we are living in paradise. The only problem is there's demon crazies everywhere. And we have a brand new demon crazy running the state of California. I'll get to that in just a second. We are now on 1 hour early on Wednesdays. We're taking the 4 to 5 o'clock hour as well as the 5 to 6 hour. New programming scheduling is coming on board for us this month of November. Yes, the Jesse T Show will always be on Monday through Friday from 5 to 6, but on Wednesdays we're kicking down another hour and going from 4 to 6. So that's what we're happening, and that's why I'm on right now at 4 o'clock on Wednesday here across the great nation, on the air and everywhere from the community to the world. The Brown Beauty is back on duty, baby. Jesse T is in the house for you and me, guarding the borders of America, since the demon crazies won't. So, in the first hour today, we're going to be talking about my assessment of last night and the review of the political shift in our country. That's going to be the first hour. The second hour, beautiful, gorgeous, talented, wonderful, amazing, sexy Sandra Santiago is checking in. And she's going to share with us all the new things she's doing. Films, movies, TV shows. Oh, it's going to be a great time. And Sandra is so wonderful. You're just going to enjoy her as we introduce you to one of Hollywood's fastest growing Latina actresses. She is just terrific. And that's happening in the 5 to 6 hour. We're going to watch some of her work. And we're going to give her the Jesse T love, baby. That's right. So, let's get on to it right now. Everybody knows that I am a Trump supporter. And I'm not bashful about it. I'm a conservative independent Republican that tends to vacillate between the Republican Party, the Conservative Party, and the Independent Party. I never cross the line of the Great Red Sea and get to the blue wave. Never. Everybody knows that I look at things in a kind of a logical, common sense way, and I will break to the middle if I'm getting some common sense and logic argument-wise, and it makes sense to me coming from the other side. I will break to the middle because our country has been made on compromise, the meeting of the minds. That's what America is all about, so it makes sense. And everybody knows that I was really strongly opposed to the new governor of the state of California, Gruesome Newsom. I'm strongly opposed to him because he is the one that destroyed San Francisco to the point now that many large corporations that would go to San Francisco for their conventions, that in Las Vegas, our convention city, USA, a part of San Francisco's major profit is tourism and conventions. And many of the large corporations are not booking their conventions in San Francisco anymore because of the poop and pee problem, because of the fly and rat problem, because of the disease problem, the homeless problem, because of the hypodermic needle problem showing up in parks and benches and the beaches and the water and everywhere, and because of the shooter rooms up there where they allow people to shoot heroin and opioids into their system, has turned that city into an understatement sewer pit. Yep, the great beautiful town of San Francisco. I left my heart in San Francisco. Wow. Tony Bennett, almost 90 years old of himself, has got to be rolling his eyes saying, what happened to my beautiful city by the bay? Gruesome Newsom. That's what happened. But you people in California, in your infinite wisdom, because you're so smart, and you just love what San Diego has been turned into, the hepatitis A capital of the city of California, where they had to shut down downtown San Diego for 3 weeks and get the hazmat teams out there to clean up the poop and pee problem there from human excrement and the illegal aliens, because it's a sanctuary city. I'm going to call them illegal enemies now. That's what I'm going to call them, because they are enemies of the state, as far as I'm concerned. At $70,000 a person, when they come here illegally, siphon off every year $70K worth of stuff. The homeless siphon off about $50K worth of stuff. Oh yes, because California is the state of free stuff. And Gruesome Newsom wants to make sure that he follows his social fascist agenda. Well, let me rephrase that. I'm wrong. His social communist agenda, and provide free health care for everybody. That means everybody from around the country is going to come here to get their free health care and their suntan and be able to shoot and have sex with wild, crazy, illegal enemies on the street in front of you. So that's sort of what's happening with the election. And now you, my friends, in California voted as citizens. Smart you are. Oh yeah, very smart folks you are. You, my friends, have voted to allow that man to be now the next governor of the state of California. Man, he's going to make brown bag nose, dirt bag, old man Jerry Brown and his wild leftist, lunatic, liberal, socialist agenda look like child's play. This Ken doll with his smile is going to make Jerry Brown look like cosplay. Let's review what Jerry Brown did. He just put a bunch of criminals back on the street for Prop 47 and Prop 57. Maybe that's why you have a lot of crime in your community. We have more crime on the streets of Los Angeles than ever before. He created sanctuary cities everywhere, allowed that to happen. Sanctuary state, in fact. That's maybe why he didn't have enough money to fix the Orville Dam. Oh, maybe that's why they had to impose the 30-cent gas tax on you citizens. Oh, I'm going to talk about that. Because you guys, in your infinite wisdom, how smart you are living in Southern California, breathing all this fresh, beautiful Pacific Ocean marine air. Oh, you are just so smart, you guys are. Getting educated by LAUSD. You guys are so smart. We'll talk about Prop 6 in a second. But let's talk about Gruesome Newsom as it continues. Because Brown put criminals back on the street. Brown made the state of California a sanctuary city that we didn't have any money to fix the Orville Dam, and 300 people could have died had that dam bursted. That damn dam could have bursted, damn it. Yeah, Brown is a professional political juggernaut in the state of California, going back all the way to the 1840s, when California became California. The Brown family has been in California for that many years, and they have been in politics for that many years, and at the highest in the state, like his daddy, Governor Brown. They're professional politicians knowing how to rip off the system. They do it really well. Let's see what else the Brown agenda. Oh, raise tax, 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 and trying to go after Proposition 13, which he was against in 1978. Oh, you didn't know that. Property tax. If we didn't get Proposition 13 in 1978 when I was 18, property tax for your house would be 5 times greater than it is today. I guarantee you. Because they want that money, baby. Oh, but wait a minute. Weren't they supposed to fix the schools when the California lottery was instituted in 1982, in the early 80s in California? Didn't they sell that to the folks here to vote for the lottery system because they were going to take all that extra money and give it to the schools of the state of California? But wait a minute. Why don't the schools have any money? How come they're always begging for more money, more taxes, more bonds, more money, more taxes, more bonds in California? But wait a minute, if they have all that money, but they don't have the money, and they're getting all that money by all the other things that they've created in the last 35 to 40 years to tax your ass, taxi-assy, tax your ass, ass and tax, ass tax, that's like Aztecs. Woo! Hey, I just maybe had an epiphany there. The Aztecs are Aztecs. Huh, interesting. I'll have to put my head around that one. But wait a minute. Weren't we supposed to have the best education like we once had in the 1970s, 60s, 50s, and 40s in California? All that money was supposed to help people become better citizens and learn more about our country? But wait a minute. Oh, I guess they didn't have enough money. Because now Jerry Brown, in his infinite wisdom, instituted Prop 6, the gas tax, and you people passed it. Oh, you know what you people just did to yourself? You people that voted no on 6 and not yes on 6. You know what you people did to yourself? 30 cents extra a gallon of gas for every gallon. In a 10-gallon tank, that's $3. You fill up 3 times a week, that's $10. Round off numbers. You do that 52 times a year, that's $520. You just tagged yourself with $520 out of your bank account. So that now you can't buy your kids shoes, clothes. Now you can't do this, maybe save for a little vacation. Because of course Pigalicious Pigalosi said that that's chump change, the $1,000 tax break that President Trump got you. That's chump change. That's bits, it's a bits, little bits. So 500 must be chump change. Chump change, chia, da 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 da, right? Well, how sweet it is, Jackie Gleason used to say. You just imposed upon yourself, ladies and gentlemen, the citizens of California, because you're so infinitely smart. You are just brainiacs to the maniacs. That you impose 30 cents a gallon onto your gasoline. In Beverly Hills, I saw gas at $5.10 a gallon last week. Now it's going to be $5.40 a gallon. That means the $3.90 that you're paying for gas right now is going to go to like $4.20. Oh, you're going to like that. Oh, yes. And Katie Hill, Nancy Thomas Kiefer says, wants to make that 60 cents a gallon. And do you think they're going to stop at 30 cents? Because they know how smart you are in the state of California, that they just got to twist the reading around on the ballot and confuse you because your brains are so enormously big and you're so disgustingly smart with that further lowbrow after high school education. Yes, you guys know so much that you can't even understand the English language and read the words on the ballot and deduce that you're getting jammed up the rear end with a giant cucumber, right? You can't get that. You don't get that, right? Okay? You don't get that. So you just allowed yourself to get imposed 30 cents a gallon. You think it's going to stop there? Gruesome Newsom talked about imposing a tax for mileage. And all that money's supposed to go to repair the girders and the cement on the freeways and paint the lines and put more box dots and more lights and fix the dams. Yeah, right. Sure. It's going to go to the sanctuary city and this assault of enemies that are approaching our border about 800 miles away. They want to invade our country. Oh, we'll talk about that in a second. I'm stuck on California right now. Oh yeah, and Gruesome Newsom is totally against the Second Amendment. Totally. Don't care what he says. He wants to impose even more laws on ammunition. That's how they're going to do it. And more laws on gun buying. That's how they're going to do it. Oh, but he's totally for cannabis use. Oh, why not? Because there's going to be more DUIs. And the legal system, gets to charge more money. Yeah. Largest employer in America is the legal system. Prisons and jails and police. Oh, and he's going to release more prisoners from our prisons because they're overcrowded. But you people in California yesterday took it upon yourselves to exercise your right as an American citizen. Thank you for voting. And voted really stupid. And you're probably dumb. And I'm calling it the way I see it. And I don't care whether you like me or not. That's what I say. I don't care whether you watch me or not. That's what I say. I don't care whether you listen to me or not. That's what I say. Because I don't care. Because I call it the way I see it. I think you people for 2 generations are born dumb. I think the baby boomers took too much acid and LSD in the 1960s and partied too much with liquor and got into transgender sex and polluted their bodies, intoxicated their bodies to the point that their offspring were born dumb. And as they've gotten older, the dumb have gotten stupider. Dumb is a condition. Stupid is learned. How many books have you people read since you graduated from high school? Seriously. Unbelievable. But you voted, right on. You cast your ballot, and you screwed yourself in California. It is going to get so bad here. City of Los Angeles, it has a typhoid epidemic going on because of confetti Garcetti. Old baggy pants. They tie the police's hands. They can go poop and pee in front of your business, in your house, and you can't do anything about it. The illegal in the city of Los Angeles, the illegal vending, which is now legalized vending, just go down to MacArthur Park. You see what the caravan, is bringing? Go down to MacArthur Park. You want to see what's coming out of the caravan? Right, the caravan, that's a 1980s van. That's what a caravan is. These people are an invading army of wannabe leftist, socialist, illiterate immigrants. Not the best. And I'm saying it like it is. People are afraid to say it like it is. Not me. Go down to MacArthur Park in downtown Los Angeles. Go down there right now. Used to be a great neighborhood. Yeah. When people who lived there worked for a living. Go down to MacArthur Park. Little Guatemala, little Central America now. And get out of your car and go and walk down there and just smell the beautiful effervescence of the perfume of the asshole and the pee-pee. Smell the effervescence of the pee-poo perfume, the triple P, the pee-poo perfume. Smell the effervescence of stinky people. Smell the effervescence and look at the filthy trash on the streets. That's what you voted to happen because you voted for Newsom. And in District 29, the congressional district that I'm driving through right now, in the San Fernando Valley, Tony Cardinia is the Congress member. I've known him for 40 years. He's a demon crazy, but I've known him for 40 years. He just got plastered with alleged sexual misconduct with a juvenile girl at one of his campaign tournaments, raising money in a golf cart behind a building, getting her drunk, unconscious, like Bill Cosby, and molesting her. And then she fell unconscious. He called the paramedics and then gave her parents a house. Oh, yeah, innocent till proven guilty? Sure. Okay, fine. Innocent till proven guilty. Okay. I don't want that guy up in Congress. That's all he's going to think about, his life. This is a civil trial. Gloria Allred office is representing the woman who's an adult now. Two judges have pushed the case along saying you can't throw it out. There's something possibly here. This is a triable case. That's all that man's going to think about. I hope he is innocent. I've known him for 40 years. Break my heart if he isn't. I hope he is. I've known him for 40 years. Never would have thought a charge like that would have been railed against Tony Cardinia. Never in my lifetime. But it was. And this is what preoccupied his head. And you know why Congress didn't really come down on him at all? Is because he's part of the Latino subcommittee, House Latino subcommittee, or whatever it is. He raised $9 million this last year for Democratic demon crazy campaigns across America. They gave all that money out. That was new money, never been raised from that kind of subcommittee before. You voted to put him back in office. Have you seen the 29th district, congressional district, and what it looks like? Oh my goodness. It looks like a third world friggin' nation. But then again, America is starting to look like a third world friggin' nation. See, that's the problem with you Americans, you citizens, like I am. You've never been out of this country. You don't know what the rest of the world looks like. The good of the one does not outweigh the good of the many. The good of the many outweighs the good of the one. And these progressive socialist commie globalists, like you, and I'm talking to you, have allowed this country to turn into what it's turned into in the last 50 years. Because you've gotten fat and sassy. Your assy's gotten big and round. Unbelievable what happened in the state of California. I'll tell you what, here's the truth. It blows my mind to think that people in California are accepting the fact and voted for a 30% gas tax, which is going to go up even more than that, and voted no on Prop 6. It's just unbelievable. 60% of the people in California voted no on Prop 6. That means when I go to the gas pump, I'm going to bring this up. And I bet you 6 out of 10 times I'm talking to someone who voted no on the gas tax. And they're going to be complaining about the gas. Because I'm going to complain about the gas. Man, this gas is getting so high. And they're going to go, yeah, it is. I said, God, man, what happened to $2 a gallon gas? Oh, man, it wasn't too far ago. No. I mean, you know, did you vote for that gas tax? When they say, yeah, I'm going to say, I'm going to laugh. The hypocrisy will run deep in the veins of their blood. unbelievable. It was known that I knew that about 85%, I was 85% sure that the House was going to go blue. Since the 1830s, any president, I don't care who they were or what party they're from, since the 1830s, the first 2 years of the presidency, if he had the House and the Senate, he loses either the Senate or the House in the midterms. It's one of those things. I don't care how good, bad, or anything. One of the very few that didn't do that was FDR, but FDR did lose it towards the end of his presidency. So that was going to happen. I knew that. So now you can just kick. So with that, this is what you can expect from the demon crazies. Impeach, impeach, impeach. Impeach, 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 impeach. But they're not going to be able to impeach. And here's why. It takes a full cluster of senators to impeach a president and kick him out. The House threshold is far lower, but they can't do anything about it. Impeach, 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 impeach. Investigation, 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 investigation against Donald Trump. You can forget about Maxine Waters ever having to deal with the fact that she stole money out of her campaign to start an illegal bank that went belly up. You can forget about the $600,000 she gave her daughter to buy a house. You can forget about the 3 indictments she has in congressional indictments about these issues. So that's going to go away because she's going to be the head of the Finance Committee. Maxine Waters, the head of the Finance Committee. What a wonderful thing that is. Have you been down to her district in the city of Los Angeles? Man, that makes like Dresden after World War II look like Dresden after World War II. That's how bad it is down there. You can forget about the Clinton machine ever going to trial or anybody related to them. You can forget about the Obama machine ever going to trial or anybody ever related to them. You can forget about the deep state and anything there. You can forget about the corruption of the demon crazies, Mueller, and the one-sided investigation. You can forget about the corruption of the DOJ. Thank God Jeff Sessions finally is not the guy. Man, he is a horrible attorney general. You can forget about the strengthening of our military. You can forget about a wall ever being built. You can forget about tariffs and us winning those battles. You can forget about the elimination of sanctuary cities. You can forget about getting people off of welfare assistance programs like Trump was doing. You can forget about an ever-expanding 4% economy. You can forget about the English as a common language. You can forget about everything that Trump has done other than by executive order and what has passed the Congress and through the Senate that they've signed already. You can forget about Space Force. You can forget about infrastructure deals. You can forget about going after big pharma. You can forget about going after campaign corruption. You can forget about changing term limits. You can forget about those that were forgotten that put Trump in power. You can forget about that because you people across this nation took the House blue. And it is going to turn into a quagmire of deep mud that nobody is going to get through. The Senate is going to deny everything that Congress is going to want to do short of an emergency, like a hurricane or war. The Senate is going to say no to everything because it's pro-Republican. Donald Trump's still going to be able to put people in the Supreme Court. Thank goodness for that. He's still going to have his executive order. You think Obama, Reagan, Bush, Clinton did executive orders? Donald Trump is going to do more executive orders than anybody ever could possibly think of. And he has the right to do that. You can forget about the look into Uranium One and Benghazi and the Iran deal. You can forget about the headway made with North Korea and Iraq. You can forget about going after China. You can forget in their economy. You can forget about Russia because, hey, it was Clinton witch that sold 20% of our uranium that makes nuclear bombs to Putin. And it was Obama who said, hey, don't worry, Mr. President, in Russia, when I'm president, I'll have a lot more power. You can forget everything that we've made, except by executive order. You can forget, you can look towards fight. You can forget about you. The demon crazies don't care about you. They're going to jack your payments up again in insurance. They're going to do everything they can to reinstitute that. Those lies, absolute lies, that's because you made it a blue wave. So I hope you like it. I really do. And this is something that Pigalicious Pigalosi and Dick Shiny Head Schumer and Diane Frankenstein don't understand, because they too are really smart. And that is this. Simply, that is this. Simply, Cortez and the Muslim two women that you people in America put in our Congress, Cortez, a socialist, which is a fancy, made-up name that Lenin created so he could sell the people of Russia communism and dictatorship and tyranny. Stalin took it to the nth degree and killed 25 million of his people. Mao in China killed 75 million of his people after World War II. You can. And Venezuela is completely broke, and every socialist nation that's ever been socialist from time immemorial is a country that has completely fallen apart. You put Cortez in Congress. You put two Muslim women when their Bible, their holy Bible, the Quran, says, beat your enemy from within over generations. Off with their heads if they don't capitulate. If the infidels, and you're an infidel. You are an infidel at home behind closed doors. They call you an infidel. Okay? You put two Muslim women in Congress. They didn't look that scary, did they? Oh, you're talking about women that subjugate themselves to their men? What about the feminazis out there that are for pro-women's rights? Why didn't you fight? You like your women being beat and raped? Because that's what the Muslims do. Every nation in the world that has a contingency, a large order of these people running or in their nation, is a miserable place to live. It's not America. That's for sure. And as far as I'm concerned, anywhere in the world that is not like America is a miserable place to live. Unless, of course, you're worth what the globalist elitists are worth, like the Vatican, the English monarchy, the Rothschilds, and the Rockefellers, where money is irrelevant and only power and control matter, and you don't have a country because money, gold, and silver have no country, where you can fly in without a passport and do whatever the hell you want to do. Unless you're one of those people who run the planet Earth, then you are living in the best place the world has ever created, mankind, the most civility ever created for mankind. And you know something? You're putting Muslims who want to upset and destroy and hurt us? I mean, really? The good of the many outweighs the good of the few. I'm sorry. Too bad. And you put this socialist commie who the side of a cow's ass is smarter than her. You think that the old vanguard of the demon crazies like Pigalicious and Dick Shiny Head Schumer and Diane Frankenstein are going to be able to control these young cats? They don't even know what they just did to themselves. It's Charlton Heston at the end of Planet of the Apes 1 when he's got that beautiful girl on the back of his horse riding bareback, and he's riding on the beach and he runs into the Statue of Liberty and he says, "My God," points it in Charlton Heston's beautiful voice, "My God, we did it to ourselves." Well, you're doing it to yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, because my premise is the baby boom has spawned a generation of human beings, the baby boomers, that are done. The baby boomers just did too much acid and LSD, and they just did too much reds and speed. They shot too much heroin, smoked too much marijuana, drank too much. That's what happened. I believe it. And the offspring are dumb. Because you dum-da-dum-dums are helping to deteriorate this great country into a globalist enclave. Because that's what they want to do. See, this is all about the destruction of the middle class of America. The globalists own the spirituality of the world. You don't think they own the Muslims? They do. They funded them. The Vatican. Did you know that the Roman Church funded the freaking Muslims when Allah was there? Did you know that? Look it up. The Vatican. They got the spirituality. They got your soul. The English monarchy, run by the Jewish bankers in the Rothschild Empire, which created the IMF and the World Bank, and created all and funded all of the every country in the world, with the exception of two, have a national bank like the Federal Reserve. Yep. Funded by the Rothschilds through their proxies. So they got the money. And they got the power. And the power is the military might and our natural resources. The military machine that we have. The industrial military complex. Military-industrial complex that Eisenhower warned us against. That JFK tried to warn us against too. They got the military of America. Why do they need you? Because they need you because they got to get rid of you and the Second Amendment. To get your guns and take those away from you. That's why they need you. To get rid of you. Then they can control the world. They already control China. They already control Russia. Don't you think for 1 second they don't. If they have a centralized bank, they control it. And they do. But that's what you wanted, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you wanted because you're so smart. You are so smart. All I got to say is I'm buying as much ammo and weapons, food, non-perishable food, and a couple of more military vehicles, and making sure I'm prepped and ready to go. Not to get away from the U.S. government, not to get away from an invading force hitting the beaches of Venice like D-Day, not to get away from an EPM explosion, an EMP explosion, or a nuclear holocaust, or drought or famine, but to get away from you. Because when there is no water, and there is no food, and there is no money, and there are no jobs because of AI, robotics, and automation coming very fast, they don't need you. And there is no medicine, They don't need you. And you know what you will turn into? These migrants coming from third world nations into this country, you will turn into them. MS-13. Rape, pillage, rob, cheat, kill, murder, mayhem. Because when you need water, and you need food, and you need Band-Aids and medicine, and you need bullets, and you need weapons, what's going to happen when you don't get them and nobody's there to help you? You will do what you will do, because we are all animals. Every human being on this planet Earth is a mammal. We're animals. And because of the blessings of God Almighty on America and the Protestant Reformation of 1511 by Martin Luther, because of that, because we had two great oceans between us, because of that, we were able to be the mixing pot, the melting pot of what the world's people, and come together under one ideology and be great because of that. But you know, that is what's destroying us. We're killing ourselves. And you voted to foster and make that happen even faster. And when Trump is gone, after 2 years or after 6 years, they're going to put in a professional politician Republican, a professional politician demon crazy, a professional politician conservative, a professional politician independent ding dong as the president. Trump is the last American free-thinking president. The last. But as long as you got your new car and your big screen TV and you're enslaved in your mortgage payment and you're working 3 jobs and you're getting fat and sassy because all you do is sit at home and watch the football games and watch those sons of a bitches kneel and disrespect our country. Yeah, drink your beer. Yeah, smoke your cannabis. Smoke your vapes. Yeah, getting fat and sassy, right? Cheat on your wife. Cheat on your husband. Yeah, baby, humba. Play porno in your house. Right? Yeah, baby. Ooh, yeah, baby. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. As long as you got that, you don't give a shit about anything else. The Jesse T Show, coming at you. My feelings about this election, the only thing that really surprised me, really, were 2 things. The gas tax passed here in California, and we're getting hit with 30 cents a gallon more. The Tony Cardinia, actually an alleged child molester, was voted back in office. The Muslims and Cortez actually won seats in Congress. And that's the only thing that surprised me. Everything else I knew was going to happen. So we're going to come back at you at 5 o'clock here. Sandra Santiago is going to be checking in just about 10 minutes. And the Jesse T Show is going to continue. And we're going to take a little break right now and get ready for her as I'm trying to get to the station. I'm driving like a crazy man, but I got to get there. I got about 10 minutes to get there, and it's tough. Traffic is killing me. It's killing me. All right, but I'm going to try to get there. So we'll see you in a bit on the Jesse T Show. Boom! See ya.